গুড মর্নিং। আজকে আমার সাবজেক্ট হচ্ছে, বিষয় হচ্ছে ওই উই আর উইক অ্যাট ইংলিশ, সিমিলার সাবজেক্ট। আসল কথা, হোয়াট এক্স্যাক্টলি ইজ দ্য রিয়েলিটি অ্যাট লার্নিং ইংলিশ। এখান থেকে আমরা একটু দূরে সরে যাচ্ছি। উই ক্যান নট understand, we cannot realize, we cannot evaluate the right process, how to enter into that English word. I am a Bengali speaker, I am born Bengali, but I hesitate to speak Bengali because my first life is related to a service life and I was a Hindi speaker. My usual language was Hindi, Punjabi, Haryani and Rajasthani. It does differ exactly, depends on my place. So now I can tell you about. We are learning and we are following books and following the suggestion of the teachers. They usually suggest us to do. But we are intended just to have the words, not the language. And now I do like to reflect the potentiality to develop our knowledge at English. Why? Why shall we learn English? This is a great question. We are Bengali. Our Bengali concept is strong. Bengali books are enough for us to develop our knowledge. Yes, right, you are. You are right at your thinking. But exactly what we are, why we are lacking at English. After completion of higher secondary, completion of honors in English or on other disciplines. That does depend upon the subject. But in college, normally the lecturers are supposed to make the students understand using English. That should be, that must be. And you know the reasons. I do not like to repeat it. I simply suggest you, first of all, how can we enter to have the basic knowledge? If our basic knowledge at English, if it becomes or it is made or it is practiced or our teacher's suggestion to help us to make the reality at learning English, and then we would never be failures to have a hold at this language. This is the vital part. This is important. It is significant. And in this regard, I would like to say you elaborately, but I dislike it because elaboration would not help you to have the reality at education. Where we are becoming failure, we have to find out exactly where we are failure. We do not know the structure of sentences. When we exactly follow the YouTube's uploaded different suggestions and different classes. So that is really praisable, laudable, appreciable. I am not going against. I simply suggest you to find out the reality of education. So how can we, being Bengali, we are to use our Bengali concept and it is to be interpreted in English. That is the concept. That's the right concept. And following books, doing exercises, reading text, understanding this, making the answers in accordance with the teacher's suggestion, it is advisable, it is appreciable. I do agree with, because marks in the examination has an important, means what is called the reflection, that would suggest or that really suggests the student's credibility, apparently. But in regard to talent, that is different. I simply ask, why do we need to learn English? Just simply, it is highly used language throughout the world, and all that knowledgeable parts are written in English or it is shared by the eminent persons in English exactly. But I am not going against our mother tongue. I am not going against Hindi or our this state's regional language or state's language. It is obvious we should have. But haphazard classes and haphazard this YouTube uploadings are really a curse. If we have the right concept, if we have the basic concept at English, that will be very much helpful to us. Simply I suggest this. Nothing more I would like to. So there are just I would say where we are lacking. We are not taught correctly. So now I am going to say this. What is exactly a sentence? Sentence is what exactly a sentence. How can we grab the knowledge? It is simply the subject and predicate. Does mean the subject, and thereafter after the verb, it is called the predicate. But in accordance to structural formation, we needed to have to use subject plus verb, then object, then complement. It does depend on then what is important here. The verb is very important. When the verb is found transitive, then it must be the object. And when the verb is for transitive, then it must be the object. But whenever the verb is intransitive, then it becomes complement. And thereafter, what else exactly the grammar is to make sentences? The primary knowledge is am, is, or has, have, do, does, been, was, where, had, did, and shall, will, should, would, can, could, may, might. Right, sir? And thereafter, used to and ought to, must, but need, and there is not included in this primary knowledge. The auxiliary verbs like this, but they are the part of finite verb. We need to have, and thereafter just we can start. It is the easiest part, and we always try to understand how can we make sentence. It is the easiest part, but the process is to be made correct. So we are supposed to follow Jesse Nussford and Renan Martin. I can assure you, this will make you a talented student in English. And reading the text, you can understand and you can answer easily. So our teachers should always teach the students following this process. Nothing more I would like to say today and this morning because it is Sunday. Just you are allowed to enjoy my student friends. Nothing more. At your time, at your leisure hour, try to follow access to success and try to join. And I can assure you, you must achieve success. My process is entirely different from other teachers. Okay, no more. Good morning.